I gotcha.
Hey, sit, bud.
Alrighty. So fill me in on Murphy here.
Yeah, so Murph is about to turn 11 months, so still just a young guy here, but kind of wanted to nip some of the stuff in the bud, obviously. You can see some of the overstimulation a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And then on top of that, just want to work through some of like the recall. Like he's getting better day by day, but again, I'm not an expert, so that's why I'm kind of coming to you here on this. But he does okay when it's kind of just like when he sees another human interaction, but when he sees another dog, he's like, everything that you taught me, I do not care about right now, kind of thing. So just trying to get some of that figured out. And then the other thing too, just trying to nip in the butt is just some of the jumping. Like when he gets overstimulated, he'll jump up. So I just want to kind of get that figured out. But yeah, other than that, just trying to get some of the obedience figured out. Like ideal state would be like the guy I see walking around all the time is like be able to go to Lincoln Park and just like once we're at the park, let him off the leash and like be able to walk kind of freely and like let him do his thing, knowing that when I do call him back, he'll come back kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah. So those are kind of some of the main things. Again, no like behavioral issues I've seen, no biting. I don't even know if he knows how to bite, to be honest with you. I don't know if we're smart enough to figure that out. He's about to be 11 months.
Oh, still pup.
Yeah, real young pup.
Well, technically, so dogs tend to treat puppies as adults at around 6 months.
Okay.
But so development-wise, 6 months would be like terrible twos brain, teenager body. So familiar with child development, right? Terrible twos. A year would be teenager brain, adult body. 2 years is adult dog. Okay. So technically, he's an adult or coming to be an adult, but 2 years is like adult,
the threshold.
Adult. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Prong collar, is this from like previous, this your own?
This is my own. I've been using this one. I think it's actually the one that you were recommending. I can't remember the name of it, but it's that brand.
Okay, yeah, Springer.
Yep, exactly. So we got one of those going. Honestly, a lifesaver on these walks. Like he's pretty good. He's decent on walks. That's probably one thing too, just to get a little better at too. Like he does tend to walk in front of me a little bit. Like if I could clean that up a little bit,
for sure,
that'd be awesome. But yeah, as soon as we take this off and we go to this collar, it's like, all right, I'm ready to yank you a little bit. So, but yeah, again, just kind of trying to nip a lot of stuff in the butt early, just to make sure like the next whatever 8 to 10 years are smooth and
you're probably gonna have a lot longer than 8 to 10 years.
Yeah. All right, fair. I'm cool with that.
Now is she's 15 now. My Chihuahua's 15.
Okay.
So yeah.
On
average, these guys are probably around 12 to 16-ish years,
then,
I'd say.
That's just another reason to nip it in the butt.
Exactly. It's gonna be a good investment.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, so with remote collar, are you familiar with what like the technology is?
So I did one for a little bit, did like a little cheapy one. He got a piece of it, so that one doesn't really work too well anymore. So, but again, was talking to that guy. I know you got that, the recommended one. I was looking on the website too.
For sure.
Haven't like gone through and purchased it yet. I figured I'd talk to you first before kind of doing anything.
Yeah. So there's a lot of models out there. You know, you go on Amazon, you get them for $25 now.
Yeah, I think we did one for like $40, and it was like we jacked it up to like whatever 60, and you can tell he's like, I don't feel nothing.
You didn't feel it? Okay, yeah. So that's good to know, because it means he just these guys are they're sturdy dogs.
Yeah.
You know, or like when I deal with like when I train golden retrievers, because they're so sweet. People don't realize that they're actually pretty tough.
Yeah.
You know, they're solid dogs. So they can't help but think of them temperament-wise. But they think that temperament is also they're going to be super soft, and a lot of times like they're like at 90 on the collar before they start listening. And the owner's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Right, but your dog's like not yelping."
Yeah.
And you could tell, like you see him just take it.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I hope you figure all that stuff out, because there are what we would call different outputs. Simply put, low, medium, high. Low would be for like a little, 15, 20-pound dog. Medium would be like a 30 to 50-pound dog. High would be anything above that. So he's obviously going to be a high output collar kind of dog. And in some cases, and this is super rare, and this is more when I'm dealing with like aggression cases or whatever, I even got dogs that have 2 collars. Because they're just so, solid, or like they're a 150-pound dog with aggression issues. Like I need to be able to cut through all that, But otherwise, every other dog on one collar is good 99.99% of the time. So the technology is, did you ever feel the one that you bought?
I think I did a small one. My dad and Buddy had a couple drinks one night and wanted to test out, see how far they could go. So they felt it, but like they were going to the max too, where it was like, I mean, granted, we wouldn't put it on their neck, but it was just like on their arm, and like they said like once it hit a certain number, like nothing really changed. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it didn't like once they hit like I think like 50 or something like that, they're
Sure.
like it was same across the board. So
I gotcha. Yeah. So the ones that we use, like you'll feel
Yeah.
all the way up there.
we won't play that game with that one.
And I felt it, like it sucks.
Yeah.
You know, because and me as a trainer, I feel like I need to know what the dog is feeling.
Exactly.
You know? And I even tell clients, like, if you want to put it on your hand, feel it, whatever. You don't have to go to max power if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Most people don't. But, you know, you should know what you're doing to your dog.
100%.
But all it is a muscle stimulator.
Yeah, and that's like the other thing too. Like obviously, like I can only play around with it for so much. Like that's another thing I want to talk to you about is like being able to figure. You've got way more experience than I do of just like figuring out what the right level is and stuff like that for this guy. So
Yeah. So there's like 3 levels that we refer to: connection, perception, and working. Connection is like, you know, he feels it, but he doesn't care about it.
Yep.
Perception is like he starts to go like, okay, this is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And working is like, okay, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
You know, and I help all my clients learn that stuff because, like you said, I've been doing this 15 years now.
Yeah.
I trained I don't know how many dogs now at this point in my career.
Yeah.
You know. And I can figure it out within seconds. And it's what I call like developing your eye. Like when you press the button, even if it's 50 and you see the contraction, like already knowing I need to bump it 30 more.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something you develop over the course of time.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It just takes practice.
Yep.
You know. And what's nice about the remote collar is right off the bat, when we train the obedience, you're going to be using it in your day-to-day with him.
Yep.
So the first thing that we cover is always leash walking. Okay. Heel has to happen in order for everything else to happen.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's definitely one we can work on for sure with this guy.
A lot of people go like, well, Jesse, I don't need the dog to be perfect. I just need him not to pull that much. And I always remind everybody, like, dogs don't do well in gray area.
Yeah.
It's either he's pulling or not pulling.
Yeah.
He's listening or he's not listening, right? Because they'll be like, I'm fine with this, and it's like a foot away.
Yeah.
But then a foot away becomes 6 feet away in a couple of weeks because he's learning like, okay, well, we're no longer
I can
keeping
get
it
some
strict.
give, yeah.
Exactly. If you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Yep.
And that's very true with dogs. So we always start with heel first. You know, right now I'm still at Oz Park. That's where I train.
That's perfect. I'm like right over there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So on the weekends I'm at Oz Park. During the weekdays I'm here.
Okay.
Because here I do the transports, I pick up the dogs and I drop them off and
Yep.
stuff. So I don't want to be stuck at the park or stuck in traffic and
Yeah.
I can't do my pickups. But yeah, I'm at the weekend. On the weekends I'm at Oz Park, and it's the busiest park in Chicago. I know that for a fact because one of my clients was a judge.
Yeah.
Her daughter worked for the city and she surveyed the parks.
Okay.
And because I trained their dog at
Yeah.
Oz Park, and she's like, just so you know, this is the busiest park in Chicago. And I was like, oh, really? She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I studied this, and like, because I guess for like funding and allocating all that stuff, they want to make sure that they're distributing the money or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's cool, because that's where we train.
Okay.
So what's nice is that if we met there and there's distractions and stuff,
That's
I'm working
perfect.
through it real time.
Yeah, because he's like I said, he's decent with humans. It's when the other dogs kind of come in the mix where he gets pretty distracted. So, and like, it's tough for me to go to the park, like, hey, can I borrow your dog for like an hour and do some training? They're like,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
out of here, dude.
Yeah, no,
So,
we train outside in the real world
Cool.
as much as we can.
perfect.
So heel is 2 parts. So you come class 1, you show up with your dog and the collar that I recommended, right?
Yep.
And then I walk you through everything, and then you go off and you do your homework for a week.
Yep.
You come back a week later, okay? You give me feedback. That feedback essentially tells me what I need to do
Next.
or adjust for that
Okay.
second class, and then we work on the second part of heel.
Yep.
Okay. Go off, rinse, repeat. Come back class 3, right? In your case, because this is pretty much obedience stuff, there's some behavior it's minor, I'm not worried about it, we
Yeah.
cover it. But by the 3rd class, pending everything's going great, we could start recall already,
Okay.
or we can do duration work with place command. Like you can kind of, go like, hey Jesse, heels great now. Could we work on recall today?
Yep.
You know, and if that's the case, I do recommend a 30-foot leash.
Okay.
So I have 2 there, that orange one and that red one hanging on the chair.
Yeah.
30 feet's like the perfect length.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything less is too short. Anything more is too long. So if you come to class 3, like already knowing, like, hey man, his heel's great. I'm gonna work on recall, and you already have that leash with you.
Yep.
We just work on recall.
Cool.
Otherwise, I may not have my leash.
Yeah.
And then we can't do anything.
Yeah.
And we just kind of go from there. So there is a approach. There's like a general, how would you say, like step-by-step process. But ultimately, you decide what you want to cover. As long as I've covered heel that first class, I can make tangents.
Okay.
Okay. But ideally, heel is 2 parts, so we want to get those done.
Yep.
And then if it's like recall, class 3, place command, class 4, stay, class 5, like you can pick and choose. Okay. Questions on any of that?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess because his girlfriend, the guy I was talking to, I keep bringing him up, but his girlfriend also brought his dog here that I see in the morning. He said he did 3 classes and she did 5. I guess like what determines the
How
number?
far they want to get.
Okay.
Man, I'm really trying to think who the dogs
I'll
are.
find it. I'll find it after this for sure. I can't remember what their names were.
So, in terms of what you're looking for from Murphy, are you wanting like off-leash control?
Yeah, if possible. I mean, that would be ideal state, like where
Okay.
we can get that going. Where like again,
What
go ahead.
commands do you want him to know?
So obviously heel we'll want to cover for sure, and then really just like the recall is the other big one as well.
Okay.
I don't know if you got any other recommended ones that you may
So
have.
there's 6 total.
Okay.
Heel, stay, sit, down, place, come.
So we got sit and like lay down. We call maybe I should probably just say down, but I say lay down to him. Those he's okay with. Heel definitely needs work. Come for sure. And then what were the other 2?
Place and stay.
Place and stay. Stay is iffy right now. We can get better, and then place we haven't even touched. Yeah.
So just so for your FYI, all those commands are meant to be functional. All those commands are meant for you to do pretty much whatever you want with your dog.
Yep.
Okay. Your dog could be so well trained that if one day in the future, depending you do your homework, you're like, man, I gotta fly with this dog.
Yeah.
You could fly with your dog.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I look at training.
Okay.
Training should allow you to do anything with your dog. Okay, so down means down, don't move.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 30 minutes. I don't care if it's 3 hours.
Yeah, that's another thing. We'll go down.
You just won't stay down.
We're very temporary.
Okay.
Same thing with like sit. Like, well, did you get in the elevator? He'll sit, pop back up, sit. Like it's just kind of repeating and telling him to do it. Like eventually he'll kind of sit down and like figure it out. Like, oh, he wants me to stay here, but it's like 3 sits in before we start doing
Correct.
that.
Yeah, us is on the first time we
Yeah.
do it. Okay, so it's not hard. It's just you have to put in the homework.
Yeah.
You know, but I think now obedience is treated like as tricks that dogs do for treats.
Yeah.
You know, like sure he can sit for a treat and stuff,
Yeah.
right? But sit also is like sit and don't move for 30 minutes if you needed it.
Yeah.
Right. Place is also the same thing of like it's what we call an extended use command.
Yeah.
Where I can place a dog for 3 hours and they're not going to move. The difference is down is like this, right?
Yeah.
Is he can't sit or stand.
Yeah.
He has to do some form of down. Place is go to your bed, you can sit, you can stand,
Yeah.
you know, you can chew on a bone, I don't care, just don't come off of the object.
Yep.
So it's a little bit more lenient in the sense of the stay aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. And stay, the way I use it is a bit different than what you're probably familiar with. So you've probably done sit, stay, right? Or lay down, stay,
Yeah.
right? So for us, stay is implied. The only time I use the word stay is if the dog is already in the position of a stationary command,
Okay.
but not in the command.
Yeah.
So like right now he laid down, right? You didn't tell him to do that.
Yeah.
He chose to do it. So if you would have said stay, then he would be considered in a down command.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? So like when we're in the heel means walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop.
Yep.
So when you come to a stop, he's to automatically sit.
Yeah.
Okay. But what if you're gonna move and you need him not to move? Stay.
Yeah.
Because you can't say sit, he's already doing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So, that's usually what determines how long a program is.
Yeah.
The more commands you want him to learn, obviously longer, but then also how far do you want him to get with those commands is
Yep.
what determines time, right?
Yeah.
So if it's like I just want to walk my dog, then it's going to be a short like 3-class program.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's like, well, I want to walk my dog, recall my dog, and then like tell my dog to go to a place and like not move, and all I care about is recall being off leash, then that's like a shorter 6-week program.
Yep.
9-week is we teach all the commands, but only the heel, recall, and stay might get off leash trained, and then 12-week is everything's off leash trained.
Yeah.
Okay, you're doing the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So that's what really determines the length of time.
Okay.
Is how much control the owner wants.
Yeah.
Okay. If you do a longer program, like a 9 to 12 program, 9-week program, typically towards the end, like by class 7 to 8, you'll have already learned all the commands. Now I'm teaching you how to progress them towards off leash.
Yeah.
So then I might not see you for a few weeks, sometimes even a month or 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you have to now practice everything.
Yep.
The homework stacks. You know, and it's like, oh, and I got to practice this, and I got to do that, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What's nice with how I train is that you can use your obedience in your day-to-day with him. You will have to do like training sessions, so to speak.
Yep.
But every time you walk your dog, you're using heel.
Yep.
Right? If you do any work from home, you can do place, you can do down.
Yep.
You know, while you're doing that for a couple hours. You know, we just try to find, you know, in your life with Murphy, what are your opportunities to apply the training?
Yep.
Because most of the time in the home, dogs do whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know, sounds like that's fine, but we could also use that to our advantage. So if I want him to go to a restaurant and stay still for 2 hours while
Yep.
I have dinner with friends or whatever, right? If he can't do it at home, Well, he's not going to do it
No
at the
chance,
restaurant.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's how we start to get to those kind of environments.
Yeah.
Is we start everything in the home, and then one day you're like, you know what, let me go to this restaurant, when it's non-peak hours.
Yeah.
Just to kind of start getting him into that environment, and you see how he does. Probably going to make some mistakes. Perfectly normal.
Yep.
But the amount of effort it takes with the remote collar, it's like minimal.
Yeah.
Okay. Question on any of that?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess when it comes to that, like, do I have to determine, like, decide that, like, up front? Like, hey, I want to do 12 weeks, I want to do 9 weeks, or can I?
So if you commit up front, it is cheaper per class.
Okay.
So like, let's say you do 6.
Yeah.
So this happens a lot. Okay. Because most people come to me with the ceiling down here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But my ceiling's all the way up here.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we'd like to have an off-leash trained dog, but I've already paid for off-leash training in the past, and it doesn't work, whatever, right? So like, we're gonna do 6, and then we'll do another 6 if the dog is doing well.
Yeah.
Is they end up paying for the cost of 6 and then the cost of 6, so it's more expensive.
Yeah.
But if they would have said 12 up front, it would have been cheaper because we're saying we want 12 classes. up
Okay.
front. So that's the only difference.
Yeah.
You can pick, 6 if you want, but then if you're like, oh wow, like I would like for him to be, off-leash trained, then you'd be purchasing other programs.
Yep.
At whatever value they're at.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you come in with 6 and I approach it a little bit differently versus if you come in with 9.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I'm going, okay, if you're doing 9, clearly you want to cover all the commands and
Yeah.
you want to get at least heel and recall
Yeah.
to be off leash. If you come in with 12, I think differently.
Mm-hmm.
If you come in with 3 or 6, I'm like, okay, we're trying to get what we can in a short amount of time.
Yep.
And it's going to affect like how the order of which I teach things.
Yep.
Okay. But otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Now, is he going to ever need like boarding or daycare in the future?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just as FYI, this was a newer thing that we started doing because we were having people like rush training and stuff like that, and their dogs are being jerks here essentially, and
Yeah.
it's more work for us.
Yeah.
Which is fine, except that like we're not being paid to like address these issues.
Yeah.
As we started requiring a minimum. Okay.
Okay.
Because any client in the past who had trained with us were welcome to come use boarding and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But some of them would just do like 2 classes just for that.
Yeah.
And then the dog needed way more.
Yeah.
So the minimum is, if we're doing in person, 6 classes.
Okay.
If we're doing a board and train, it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. So if in the future something happened and you're like, oh man, I got to board Murphy, I didn't think this was going to happen. Most places require some kind of minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, which makes sense, daycare minimum. The places that will take your dog on a whim, yes, you could take him there. Just he's probably going to come back with like kennel cough or something, okay? Because they take random dogs,
Yeah.
so they don't really know who's got what.
Yep.
As the clients that we've trained who've met our minimum requirement are welcome to use our boarding services.
Okay.
You don't have to do any daycare minimum or anything like that.
Awesome.
Only thing we would need, of course, is vaccinations be updated,
Yep.
and then when that stay is going to come up, that he has a fresh fecal.
Yep.
So we've had dogs that give a fecal one day, were dropped off the next day, and the following day their poop was infested with parasites.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've learned a week prior, 7 to 10 days prior to a boarding stay, is a good spot because it gives enough time for any parasites to pop up that didn't get picked up during the fecal.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
That's just
think it'll
FYI
be
for you.
something. We should be good, but good to know. Good to know.
It happens.
Yeah.
We're clients like, oh yeah, I'm like, very cool, and then like,
Yeah.
a year later, whatever. So, other questions?
I don't think so. I think that covers a lot of them. Again, like I said, just trying to nip a lot of this stuff in the butt up front early.
Yeah, so the jumping stuff, like you said, like
Yeah.
the behavioral stuff, the stuff that you don't want him to do,
Yeah.
the reason why it's easy is because, I know you see the cue there, buddy. I show you how to correct the behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be a class in itself.
Yep.
Is you're like, hey, he does this, he does this, he does this, he does this.
Yep.
Okay, so growing up, I was raised old school. I was spanked. If I talked back, if I didn't do my chores, if I rolled on the wall, whatever, it was spank, spank, spank.
Yep.
It was one consequence for a multitude of behaviors.
Yeah.
Dogs are the same way. Okay. So once you understand how e-collar works and how to apply it as a correctional tool, if he's jumping, you know how to correct it already.
Yep.
If he's counter surfing, you know how to correct it already. If
Yeah.
he's barking out the window, you know how to correct it already. Because it's just consequence for the behavior you don't want.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the other thing too is like I was doing it a little bit at home, just like putting the e-collar on him. Like he's a big look at me guy. So like if people would come over, he would kind of start like not growling, but like similar to like this, whine a little bit and then maybe bark at you occasionally. So like trying to nip that stuff in the butt too.
Yeah.
So
That's
I mean,
not
we
like
started doing it.
frustration.
Yeah.
So that would most likely go away
Okay.
with the healing exercise. Okay, so like right here, the overstimulation that you're talking about,
Yeah.
heel helps to address that.
Yep.
Okay, because overstimulation is the brain's inability to relax.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how he's like been standing and his like tail's wagging,
Yep.
and now because he wants to do something,
Yeah.
and we're just sitting here having a boring conversation,
Yep.
right? So what you're gonna do is go ahead and pull him in towards you. You're gonna pull up on your leash. You're not gonna say sit, and you're gonna relax. Okay. Every time he gets up, you're just gonna pull up on your leash.
Okay.
Okay. So up, and you are unintentionally a little bit more up, reinforcing his overstimulation. Do you know how?
No.
So like right now, he like whined and barked, and he moved into you, and
Yeah.
then you started petting him.
Yeah.
That.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people do a lot of things
That they just don't
subconsciously.
recognize. Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
So up on your leash. Up more. And then relax. Good. So let's say he comes to you and he's like whining, right? And you're like, that's okay, calm down, buddy, right? I know what you're saying, but what you're telling him here is you should be doing what you're doing right
Yeah.
now. Touch is a reinforcer. Anytime you touch him, I want you to think, do I want Murphy up on your leash?
To do that again. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, it's the easiest way to look at it. So that's the difference between aversives and reinforcers. Is reinforcers are do that again.
Yep.
Yep, a little bit more up. There he goes. Aversives are don't do that again. Okay, so to a degree right now, you are applying an aversive. You're putting pressure on him.
Yep.
But what you're doing more specifically is you're giving him structure. Okay, so what do you think you're communicating right now to the prong collar to Murphy?
I have no idea.
To relax.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like a sit,
Yeah.
but it's really relaxed.
Okay.
So right now his brain needs to do something.
Yep.
That's what all this is. So every time he gets up, you're telling the brain you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So you keep saying you're not going to. Yep. You keep repeating this, and eventually he's like, okay, well every time I move, Dad does this. Hold up, keep it up, and then relax. What happens if I just relax? Yep. And at some point he may lay down, and then 2 minutes into laying down, he's going to get up
Yep.
because his brain's so used to having
Go,
to
go,
do
go.
something.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now you're countering the brain. The other thing is you're using a prong collar, which is a great tool, but this can only do so much.
Yep.
And that's the difference between e-collar and prong collar.
Okay, so that was going to be my question. Like, I'm assuming the answer is going to be yes, like having the e-collar on him at all times, because there's obviously going to be situations where he's at home, and that this is going to happen where I don't have the collar on him.
Yes and no.
Okay.
So you only have the collar on when you're actively training.
Okay.
So in the first week or two, you're probably only going to be using it as you're walking him. And maybe like if you're like, hey, he's been counter surfing, I'll tell you like, okay, when does he counter surf? Oh, when I make dinner. Then prior to making dinner, collar him up then, right?
Yep.
Is you would be surprised how structure through good obedience with the e-collar
Yep.
will fix a lot of problems.
Okay.
So clients will come in with like 50 problems.
Yep.
And I go, okay. And then we'll do the heel exercise.
We'll
and
address
they'll come
two of
down.
them,
And like they're like, Jesse, there's
50% of them
like,
are already solved.
50 are gone.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of it is frustration.
Yeah.
You know, overstimulation is frustration. It's the brain needs to do something,
Yeah.
right? So once you teach him how, in order to focus, like to walk with you, he has to block out the environment.
Yep.
He has to go, okay, I have to be attentive to you, otherwise this thing's gonna turn on and I don't want it to turn on, right? But then once the brain learns to relax, it starts to favor relaxation. It's not healthy to be in this mindset all the time.
Yeah.
It becomes stressful. So as a human, like think like for yourself, like being unable to relax.
Yeah.
You know, like that becomes stressful because you're like, I just want to relax.
Yeah.
But literally, for dogs, they won't know how to do it unless you make them do it.
Yeah.
And like, so here's an example. I had a German Shepherd. His name was Marshall. I trained him as a puppy, and then they came back for e-collar. And we did heel 2 classes, probably recall 3rd class. And then when we came to place command, right? They're like, oh, Jesse, we're so excited to do this because he never naps during the day. He is up all day, and the only time he sleeps is when we turn off the light to go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And I looked at him like, that's not good.
Yeah.
I was like, dogs sleep 16 to 20 hours a day. And they're like, nope, he only sleeps the 6 to 8 hours we sleep at night.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I was like, chances are after we do this, he's going to learn to relax during
Yeah.
the day. Because now what place did for them was, and it's exactly what happened, it gave them something to do in the home that told him, you need to just chill. And you're not going to do anything else but just lay on this bed.
Yeah.
And then they sent me a picture, I think it was like a week or 2 later, of him like sleeping in the kitchen. And they're like, Jesse, this is the first time he's ever slept in the kitchen during the day. You know, so once the brain learns like, oh wow, I can turn off and I can like actually be relaxed, they
Yeah.
tend to favor that.
Okay.
Because it's not healthy to be like this all the
Yeah,
time.
and he does. So like an example of that is, I'll probably once a week we go over to my brother's place and like cook dinner and stuff like that, and I'll bring him with me, and like he's just he won't lay down. He's just constantly, again, I think it's just like, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but it's like a lot of just excitement of like seeing new people and being in a different environment. But it's like he'll lay down for 2 seconds, similar to like what you saw, and then pop back up.
Yeah.
So
You notice what's happening now, though?
he's chilling.
He's been sitting for about 2 to 3 minutes now,
Yeah.
right? And the vocalizations come down a bit. Now he's this is what we call passive alert.
Yeah.
He's in a relaxed position, but he's clearly still alert. Yep, up in the leash. But in the beginning, you're pulling up you pulled up like 5 to 8 times in the span of 60 seconds. Exactly, right? But now we're starting to see a gap. And that's just with this simple little approach here.
Which is crazy. This is like already putting a smile on my face.
But e-collar is way,
Yeah.
way crazier.
Yeah.
Like how fast it is and how immediate it is, because it's at the press of a button.
Yeah.
So I like to refer to it as a bite on a button. So dogs are physical creatures. They nip and bite each other.
Yep.
This here is a dog bite. It's 10 stitches
Okay.
from a Great Dane. He just didn't want to go in the kennel.
Yeah.
All it was. Okay. And he freaked out. He wasn't an aggressive dog or anything like that. He came for a 4-week boarding train back in September of 2019 when I first opened my brick and mortar. He was unneutered. He was already a year old. He destroyed their home. He chewed up their bar. He chewed up their front door. He chewed up their couch to the springs. It was
Dear
bad.
Lord.
Yes.
Okay.
And
We don't
he'd
have
never
that
been
going
created before. Okay. He had never been created before. And a little bit more up. There you go. And then relax. So he came. I came to my facility. I did a little bit of training with him. He did great, and he was the first dog that size that I had because I'd only been open for like a month, and I had only standard wire crates. So I went to see if he was going to fit in the crate. I wasn't even trying to really put him in there. I was like, "Are you going to fit?"
Yeah.
Okay. He wasn't. But when I went to put him in, he freaked out and he looked up, and because he's a Great Dane, there was no way for me to avoid the bite.
Yeah.
So he bit me. I told him, pick up your dog. I had nerves exposed. I had to get stitches. So I was like, bring him back once I'm healed up or whatever, and then crate train him in the meantime.
Yeah.
He came back, we trained him. He did great. Never an issue since, never an issue before. In terms of that. It was just, he literally just freaked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got spooked.
Yes. So he used what he had available. He's like, all right, I don't want to go in there. I don't know what this is, right? I've just been here for like 2 hours, a little bit more up. Excellent. The only way I know to stop you is by biting you. Okay. So the e-collar is a bite on the button. So if you're at the dog park or something with them and he's annoying another dog, that dog might snap at Murphy.
Yeah.
Right?
We've gotten stitches before already.
Yes. He's not, well, depending. The dog's not really being aggressive.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, was he playing and the dog bit him so hard that he got stitches? Is that what happened? Or?
So we were at Lincoln Park. This is like puppy. He's probably like 3-4 months old, and there was like a dog kind of sitting on the ground playing with his ball, and he went up to say hi, and then he snapped at him and caught him under the belly.
Yeah. That's resource guarding.
Yeah.
Leash, good. A little bit more up. There you go. Good. Up. So that's not why that happened. Okay, just as FYI for you. Most dogs will correct correctly, meaning they'll just kind of snap. They might, get the fur pretty good, but rarely will they go to punctures.
Yeah.
We do get dogs that what I would call overcorrect, where they just go like, I'm going to just give you one serious bite right now and taste the lesson.
Yeah.
And that's where stitches come into play.
Yep.
But yeah. So dogs, the other thing about dogs is that they don't ease each other into things. Like that dog's a great example. Good job. He approached his ball, and the dog didn't want it.
Yep.
So just bit him and put stitches, or gave him stitches.
Yep.
Right? Is when it comes to remote collar, I approach it the same in a sense that I'm not coming in at 100. We start low, we work our way up. Okay. But if he needs me to be at 60 on day 1 to get him to take the healing seriously, then we're going to be at 60. Okay. What's very common now, good job, is what's called low-level e-collar.
Okay.
Low-level e-collar is when you're working at ridiculously low levels that most dogs don't even really feel.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like 3 to 5. My collar goes to 127. Most dogs tend to feel it at 15.
Okay.
So what I see, because I get a lot of these dogs where I have to retrain them, is the owner's like, Jesse, I'm either really low or I'm really high.
Yeah.
And there's no in between, and I'm constantly remoting my dog because they're just not listening. So what I do is I go somewhere in the middle. Low enough that, the dog's not yipping or yelping, whatever, but I'm high enough for that he's like, you know what, I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to just like keep my butt here and not move.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. The things that we're teaching aren't complicated, right? It's walk at my side, get over here, go to your bed and don't move, put your butt down.
Yep.
Like, it's not like rocket science, you know? There's stuff that's more complex that we teach with e-collar that, yes, we have to approach it in a nuanced manner because it's more complex. But sit, stay down, come, place, heel, they're all simple commands.
Yeah.
So once he understands, okay, if you know, I feel the collar and dad tells me to down, it means to do this, but then also not get up again because I don't want 60 to happen.
Yeah.
Or I don't want 25 to happen. You know, whatever his number is. And the number does change according to the context,
Yep.
right? So if he's at the park and there's like 20 dogs versus, you know, he's at the park and there's 0 dogs.
Yeah.
If he's in the home and there's nobody, if he's in a home and guests are coming over, right? But you'll start to learn these things and you're like, oh, you know, 55 when there's dogs around.
Yeah.
Oh, 35 when there's no dogs around.
Yep.
You know, 70 when it's his favorite person in the world comes home.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Okay. Question on any of that?
I don't think so. I think that all makes sense.
So one of the most common questions I get is, when does the e-collar go away? In my book, when you need it, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're going to be out walking Murphy, you're going to have the
Always
collar
have it on.
Yes. If you're doing the training correctly, you're not always pressing the button.
Yeah.
It's simply present.
He just knows it's there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You drive. Do you go on the expressway?
Yeah.
Do you go speed limit?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. That sounds like a maybe.
Yeah.
Right? You see a squad car, what happens?
You slow down.
You pass a squad car and it's clear, what happens?
You start speeding up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody does it.
Yeah.
You can always tell when there's a squad car
Yeah.
ahead of you because people start slowing down, right?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, there's a cop car.
This
And
is
then
going
sure enough-
online.
Huh? I won't submit it to the police. You're good.
Yeah.
But you
That
get
was
what I'm
off the
saying?
record.
Off the record. Cut that. Yeah, you know, speeding is probably the most common thing that people do.
Yeah.
Right, that the one boundary that we all press, right? But when that squad car is there, all of a sudden everybody remembers the speed limit.
Yep.
So I tell my clients, the e-collar is like a cop on a collar, right? When it's present, he's like, okay, consequences here,
Yep.
right? So I'm going to behave myself. But if you're using the collar correctly in the sense that, again, at the correct working number every single time, right? It literally is just there. So when you call him, he's not going to question it.
Yep.
But if one day he decides to question it because he's a living, breathing creature,
You got the
can
button.
reinforce it.
Yep.
Exactly. You know, there's also things that we can't control in the environment.
Yep.
Most common thing that's happened to clients is random firework.
Yep.
They'll be at the park. It could be October. Kid finds a bottle rocket or whatever, blows it up. Dog spook and they run away.
Yeah.
Right. Almost always when that's happened, the client has had to go to max power continuous. So on an e-collar, there's the momentary function where it's just a quick little contraction.
Yep.
And then there's continuous where it'll keep the contraction until you release.
Yep.
Right. So in that situation, dog goes into fear flight response. So if you say come, he's like, screw you, man. Like,
Yeah.
there's danger. It's a big loud sound. Like, it's against instinct to run to danger.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to override that. So that's where the client has to be max power continuous because they're having to do something that's going to get the dog to counter their natural instinct to escape danger.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had clients a couple times in the Lincoln Park, there's coyote. I've had 2 clients whose dogs came across coyote in Lincoln Park. One of them, he had a little doodle.
Okay.
And his wife hated the e-collar.
Yeah.
They're walking through Lincoln Park, you know, over, I think it's Lincoln, where it goes into the open grass area.
Yep.
And there's like another little road, and then it goes towards like a big grass.
Yeah.
And then there's like the lakefront, right? But it's like just a huge stretch,
Yep.
right? So he's walking with his wife. They're having a conversation, and they look, and their dog is nose to nose with a coyote. Okay. So his dog was e-collar trained.
Yeah.
He calls his dog without a blink of an eye.
Comes back.
Comes back, no problem.
Yep.
After that day, his wife loved the e-collar. She fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Every time I came over, she's like, I'm gonna leave.
Yep.
Because she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care, it's my dog. We trained the dog, and then that day
She was like, this
opened
makes
her
all
eyes.
sense.
She's like, because he's like, if my dog would have delayed, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
You know. So, and I saw a coyote once over on Diversey and Inner Lakeshore Drive. There's like a statue there, and I used to meet with clients there to do long leash training.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we saw a coyote. We think something was wrong with it because it kept going in circles, and then the birds were circling it. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it was gonna die or something.
Yeah.
But and I've even seen coyote where the zoo is, like kind of running through the grass there, like
Yeah.
early in the morning. So yeah, like stuff like that happens, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to know, regardless of my environment, if I need to regain control,
I can.
have that tool available.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. My dog's been off leash trained 13 years now. They're 15 now. You'll still see them with their collars on.
Yeah.
I just don't ever press the button.
Yeah.
You know. Question on that.
No, I don't think so. I think that all makes sense. I mean, yeah, I'm one of those people too, where it's like I know the purpose of the e-collar, so it's like that doesn't bother me. So it's like, I'm like what you've been explaining. It's like they know it's there.
Yes.
If they do something wrong, they're going to get it. And
Yes.
if they don't do anything wrong, it's still going to be there, but they're
Yeah,
aware that if I
exactly.
do
You can
screw up,
avoid it.
it's coming
Exactly.
again. So
Like me growing up, like, I knew like if I did certain things or didn't do certain things,
Yeah.
I wouldn't get spanked.
Yeah.
And then if I didn't want to get spanked, just don't do certain things.
Yeah.
It's like that easy.
Yep.
So it's just a very common thing that I get from people is like, when does the dog learn to be a good dog? And I'll tell them that's not a thing.
yeah.
It's an old myth, it's an old saying from whenever that still comes around nowadays. Do you know what your dog's learning capacity is as in terms of human
I have no
relation? 2 to 3 years old. 2 to 3 years old.
idea. Okay.
So he's forever a toddler.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we would never expect a toddler to like get a job or to contribute, to the
Yeah.
family income. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Put my son to work.
Yeah.
He's never gonna just go get a job or whatever. Like you constantly have to tell him what to do.
Yep.
If you don't tell him what to do, he's gonna do what he wants to do. And dogs are self-serving creatures.
Yeah.
I know there's also the the dog wants to please. That's also not a thing. Not to burst anyone's bubble, but that's also
Yeah.
another one. Oh, my dog loves to please. I'm like, no, because if they did, they would come when you called them.
Yeah.
That's why we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing e-collar, right? It's like because the dog doesn't come when you call. So that, again, it's just human stuff.
Yeah.
Dogs are good or great dogs because the owner's doing a good or great job
Yep.
of like reinforcing everything. Okay. Yep.
So I got a question for you.
Yes.
Like, obviously, I want him to be trained up, but I also want him to kind of keep that, like,
Be his self.
yes, exactly.
You're not making a robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you tell Murph break,
Yep.
he can be Murph.
Okay.
And when I tell him to come, he's gonna come.
Okay.
When I tell him to not move, he's not gonna move.
So it's really just like we're working on like making sure the commands are figured out, but if nothing else is going wrong, let him do his thing.
Yeah,
Kind
if I
of.
was making robots, I don't think I'd be here.
It wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
Dogs have personality and stuff, and that's
Yeah.
a lot of why we love them.
Yeah. Like I just don't want to lose his friendly spunk. So.
No.
Yeah.
What you'll get is so. For example, I have a friend. I've known him for more than half my life. We went to high school together and all that stuff. Went to $5 keggers, all that stuff.
There you go.
And he went to the military. Okay, and then he came back years later. Still the same guy.
Yeah.
Just disciplined now.
Yep.
Like when he puts his mind to something, like he's like puts down all the
Yeah.
steps and everything, and like when he wants to get them done by,
Yeah.
he just gets shit done now.
Yeah.
So I look at it the same way for dogs. Like they're still the dog. They're still who they are. They're still the personality. It's just that when you tell them like you need to stop what you're doing and or get over here,
Yep.
he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other questions?
I don't think so. That was just another like concern. Like I obviously just didn't want him to lose like that like happy-go-lucky kind of like behavior. But again, just being able to like reinforce like what you said, getting those commands figured out, and then also still letting him do his thing, have fun, like go to the park, chase the ball, and everything like that. So.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like this right here, this is not we don't
Then what I tell you earlier,
we don't do this.
I was like, at some point he's gonna lay down.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get up in 2 minutes.
Yep.
Because his brain's used to being on go.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing that we may see in the beginning is what people describe as mopiness because of the discipline.
Yep.
Right. So, like I said earlier, like I don't really ease the dogs into it. Like we start low, we work our way up. But if we have to be at a certain number to make them start taking it seriously,
Let's do it.
We're
Yeah.
gonna be there, right? So that's what creates the mopiness that people are talking about.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's just the dog being calm for once.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to the dog being like this,
Going
right?
crazy.
That they're not used to seeing them calm.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, my dog's mopey, or they're depressed. I'm like, they're not. It's just that either one, the dog is calm, and or it's nobody likes discipline.
Yep.
Right. But what I get all the time is clients going from never walking their dog, because I deal with a lot of aggression and reactivity, so they like withdraw a lot.
Yeah.
Or dogs that like janking the owner down, that the walks aren't pleasant anymore.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I'm walking my dog so much more now. Especially if you live in Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
Like you have Oz Park and you have the whole lakefront there.
Yeah.
Right. Is now you're doing so much more with your dog, and now he's getting a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
So control isn't just control; it's freedom.
Yeah.
If I know I can recall him off of anything, he can chase whatever he wants.
Exactly.
Like I can let my dogs off leash anywhere. I'm not worried about are they going to run into the streets.
Yeah.
That's literally not a thought in my mind.
Yeah.
Because of the level of control that
Yeah.
I have.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah, and like when I said if you want to go on a plane, and
Yeah.
you've done your training, and he has the skill set to go on a plane.
Yep.
That's freedom there, right? Where it's like, okay, cool, I can just take my dog with me.
Yeah.
I've had this happen in the past 5 years, at least once a year, where someone had something randomly come up and they're like, I have to take this dog with me.
Yep.
I'm like, sure, here, we'll do service dog, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Because I know they did the homework. I had one person who I knew didn't do the homework, and I did not put my name on that dog for the service dog thing.
Yeah.
But everybody else, I'm like, yeah, not a problem. Flew with the dog. One client went to Puerto Rico. Like literally, somebody had passed. They had to just go. They had to take the dog because they're going to be there for a month.
Yeah.
Flew with the dog, no problem.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, are you going to put in the time, are you put in the effort, and if you want them to be that well trained.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to look fancy. All we need is functional.
Yeah.
Like down doesn't need to be Sphinx-like down, super pretty. Like this for me, if he'll hold that for 3 hours on a flight, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions?
I don't think I just had something I was going to say, but I can't remember what the heck it was now. I can't remember.
Spirit, mopiness.
It may come back to me, but I was just going to say, like, I mean, with him lately, I mean, it's like, again, it's more so just like having the expertise from you to kind of help me out. Like, I think he's like, when I have been teaching him stuff, like he does pick up on it pretty quickly. It's just, on my end, I just got to make sure I'm teaching him the right things kind of thing. Again, for another reason I'm here. It's just because like I don't do this for a living, so I don't know all the stuff. So it's like, but yeah, I mean, like what you just showed me just with the leash and like the whining, like that's already something I wouldn't even have like thought of to do.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that.
This is different. Like, not to like toot my own horn, but in a way to toot my own horn is that not every trainer you go to would do this, get this done with their dog.
Yeah.
Like even just this here, a lot of people, when they see behavior, look at obedience as a means of addressing the behavior, but they're not related.
Yeah.
Obedience, think of it as education, right? Sit, stay, come, math, English, science.
Yep.
Behavior, think of as morality. Don't jump, don't bark, don't bite, don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat.
Yeah.
Right? So someone could be brilliant in math, but like be an asshole. And then someone could be, not the smartest person, but be like a very good person. Like those things don't correlate, But unfortunately in the dog training world, that's the thought process. Your dog bites people, let's teach him to sit. I'm like, what does that have to do with biting people?
Yeah.
So like right now, when you pulled up, it looked like you were telling him to sit.
Yeah.
But really what you're telling him was, you're not going to get up, you're not going to move, you're going to relax. But because he's not, and this is what I was mentioning earlier, I was like, after a couple of minutes, like this is already him getting stimulated.
Yep.
You see that, how the posture changed?
Yeah.
And the moment he gets up, you would just do this, and then it would just restart the process.
Yeah.
And the more and more you do that, the longer and longer his duration of being able to stay calm is going to be. Yep, pull on your leash. That's the difference between behavior and obedience.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do both. My specialty is behavior, which is why I know like little tricks like this to get the dog to settle. But you'd be surprised how many trainers, both with prong and e-collar, don't know how to get a dog to relax. Pull over, pull up. So like here, we'll have as many as 50 to 60 dogs on a busy day, and it's just as quiet.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that dogs never bark, because they do. They're dogs. They're just not barking all day, all the time. And then relax. Other questions?
I don't think so. I think I covered like most of what I'm trying to get out of this. Again, like I said, just want to kind of nip a lot of this in the butt early while I can, just till, again, we can just continue to kind of reiterate it and just make sure that he's good to go for years to come. But yeah, like I said, just being able to like give him that freedom where like, I know I can go to Lincoln Park, hey, you can do your thing as long as I know you're going to come back or like heal, whatever it may be, when I need you to. Yeah.
So I would put you like probably around 6 or 9.
Okay.
So if you did 6, it'd be 2 on heel, 1 on recall, 1 probably on behavior, right, correcting stuff. We could do 1 on bring them in, pull up. So you're gonna pull them towards you, pull, and then you're gonna pull up. We could do stationary control with like place command or whatever. That one's like the most easiest for people. And you can look at the 6th one as like if you wanted to learn how to start progressing heel towards off leash or whatever. But the program would end there. Right. So then you're kind of on your own
from there.
It's not hard. It's just a lot of time and repetition. Okay. And clients always ask, like, well, how do I know I can take the leash off? I was like, if you have to ask, then you're not ready. Okay? It's literally, it's very intuitive. I've had clients do full 12-class programs. The dog is awesome. And I'll tell them, this dog's off-leash trained, in my opinion. And they're like, I wouldn't trust this dog off-leash. Because their confidence isn't there yet.
See, that I don't think I would like, I will go to Lincoln Park now and take him off the leash. Like I said, I'm already at the point where like I'm not afraid he's gonna run away. It's just when he sees another dog in the park, it's being able to call him back.
Yeah.
Like I haven't had any issues. I mean, I've been doing it since he was probably 3 months, where it's like let him go, just kind of getting comfortable with like myself and him being able to be off leash. But again, no concern about him like taking off. It's more just like when I guess he does take off, but it's like 2 other dogs. It's not like he takes off and like he's gone.
Yeah.
Like he gets to a certain distance where he's like, I'm too far away from Luke, and I'm getting really nervous right now. Where he'll come back. But again, it's just being able to do it like on command. What needs to be kind of corrected.
For sure. Yeah. So the 6 is like I'm kind of focusing on what I know you want. Right, and need. And then the 9 is like we just have those 3 extra classes where we can get so much
do
more
whatever
covered.
and
then you even have me a little
up.
bit longer. Exactly. So I think I mentioned earlier, I was like, by class 7 or 8, you might be like, all right, we have everything. Now you're gonna go practice for the next month or 2, and then you come back for class 8, and you're like, hey Jesse, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'm struggling, right? Then I help cover more stuff with you. And then class 9, a lot of times class 9 are like clients are like, I want to use my obedience, but I'd like you to watch me to make sure I'm doing everything correctly. Murphy is always learning. Okay, so let's say I show you everything the right way, and then months go by, and then you kind of forget things. Right, and then you start doing things incorrectly. Is you can start to untrain him.
Lose everything you taught him.
Yes. So it's the consistency of it, and this happens a lot because either people get confused with previous stuff that they learned, or they start to come up with their own theories. That happens a lot where people start to, I was like, I never told you to do that. They're like, yes, you did. I'm like, no, I didn't. I would never tell you to do that. And they're doing, like they're practicing something wrong. So one of them, for example, is I never tell clients to do recall from sit, down, place, or stay. I never do that.
Say that again?
We don't do come from sit, down, stay, or place. Right? So have you ever done like sit and then come? Right? I don't do that. Because a couple of reasons. It creates an unrealistic expectation. The dog's going to learn. You walk 20 feet away and you're going to call me, so I'm going to start running to you so I can beat the punch. Right? They want to avoid the collar. So then by the time you turn around, the dog's already running to you. 2, it's not realistic. Right? When we need recall to work, he's chasing a squirrel, he's playing with the dog, spooked by a firework, whatever it is, right? The dog's almost always in motion when we need recall to work. So that's when we practice our recall. So that's something that clients will often get mixed up.
So I guess question for you on that then. Let's say you have them sit and like you do need to walk away or something like that. What are you saying to them like when they get to like a certain...
You come back.
You come back to the dog.
So we don't even release from a distance because I don't want the dog ever to think from 30 feet away you release me. Because there could be something environmentally like that we don't know. Does that make sense? So it could even be like a dog walking by. And if he's in a stay, in the sit stay, and the dog walks 10 feet of him, the expectation is you're not going to move. But the moment you start bringing in release from a distance or recall from the distance, he's like, well, did dad release me? And then he goes to play with the dog. Okay. So it helps, how would you say, avoid creating homework for you, because it's like you don't have to fix these things. The only time I cover that stuff is if the client wants the dog to be like as well trained as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to create problems knowing that they're going to fix the problems. But most people don't want that. Most people want reliable obedience with as little effort as possible. So that's why I tell them, just don't do those things. Okay. But that's one where a client will email me, Jesse, my dog's not is not staying anymore. Every time I get that email, I already know what the problem is. They're practicing recall from stay. And then I show up and I'm like, show me what you're doing. Sure enough, stay. They walk away.
Tell them to come.
And I'm like, that's why. It's like, I told you not to do that. They're like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. Okay. So like little things like that, it just helps make your life easier, unless you're again wanting like as well trained as possible with those things. Like there's no point in practicing. Recall from stay or whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay. Other questions?
I guess on top of that, because I obviously like everyone says all the time, labs are super like food motivated. What's like when it comes to like training and treats?
Don't need them.
What?
Don't need them.
Don't need them?
Nope.
Okay.
If you want to incorporate them, you can. I don't do treats with heel for sure because it's too complicated for the average dog owner. Pull in and then pull up. If you want to do treats with recall, we can do that. It's pretty straightforward.
I mean, I'm cool either way. I was just curious what you have.
Not necessary. And in some cases, like some dogs who have like a lot of food drive, it makes it harder for the owner to control them. Because of the food.
Because they're only looking for that.
Exactly. So Again, it's not necessary. I've trained most of the dogs I train are trained on no food, and we still get off-leash reliability.
Okay.
You know, because the reward ends up becoming the freedom.
Yeah.
You know, once he starts to realize, like, oh wow, when that collar comes out, we're gonna go to Oz Park. I'm gonna get to chase squirrels and stuff like that. They're like, if I move my collars, my dogs come running. Like, where are we going? I'm like, I just put the collars in the drawer, man. Like, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's not necessary. But if you wanted to incorporate it, there's certain commands that we teach that I go, yeah, you could do it. And it's not like super difficult.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other questions?
I don't think so. Nothing's coming to mind right now. I think we covered off on a lot.
Here.
Come here, bud.
And then up. Yeah. He just found a little dust bunny.
Yeah.
We sweep like 10 times a day.
We vacuum 10 times a day.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So imagine having 50 dogs,
Yeah.
50 Murphys. So yeah, so I would put you, unless you're like, no, I want like a fully off-leash trained dog, then that would be 12.
Yeah.
But from what I'm getting from you, 6 is like the bare minimum I'd suggest. And then 9 is like if you want, so 9 is we get like heel, recall, and some version of stay.
Yeah.
Off-leash. The 12 is like everything's off-leash, except for place, because you know, you wouldn't be at the dog park with the dog bed with you, but all the other commands can be up to an off-leash level. And then the last thing would be just the collar. I'd put them on the Dog to Black edition.
Okay.
Tina will send you the information. If you get it through us, it is 10% off.
Okay.
If you don't get it from us, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just make sure you do get the Dog Trail Black edition.
Okay.
With tax all in, before discount, it's around $340-ish to $50-ish.
Okay.
With the discount, it drops it down to like $305, $310-ish.
Okay.
Through us. It's confusing because the model is called 1900S, and they have like 5 different models of the 1900S.
Yeah.
So clients will get mixed up and they'll get the wrong one, but it's Black Edition.
Okay.
The collar is fully waterproof, both the transmitter and the receiver, so you can go swimming in the water.
Yep.
You could put the remote in the water completely fine.
Cool.
They last for years. I had my first e-collars for about 10 years before they crapped out, and then I had to buy a new set.
Yep.
The most common thing is that it is a rechargeable lithium battery, like your cell phone, and that does give over time. It comes with a 1-year warranty, and typically the batteries are past the warranty, but it's like literally $25-$30. It's super easy. Just unscrew the back, replace the battery.
Okay.
And you can get them through Doctra. I sell them too, but Doctra sells them online as well. They're pretty straightforward to replace on your own. That's the most common thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if something happens, like just do standard wear and tear, if you call Doctra and you tell them, hey, my dial keeps going all over the place, the numbers keep turning, they'd have you send it in and they'd repair it, or they give you a quote.
Yep.
They go like, it's going to cost X much money to like repair the remote, and then you agree to it or not, and then they fix it and send it back to you. Okay. The parts are also replaceable. So if like you lost your remote, but you still have your collar, you can buy a remote.
Okay.
And then pair it to the system or whatever. So I sell like replacement collars and transmitters because it happens, things break or people lose things, and then they'll get the replacement parts from us too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, it sounds like at the end of this, so I'll get an email, and then I can obviously just go back and kind of think through.
Yeah. Take your time, think about it. She's going to send you a contract.
Okay.
If you want to expedite things, you can email her and say, hey, Tina, sign me up for X amount of classes, whatever. And here's my schedule for the weekend, right? So then she'd look at your schedule and she'd look at my schedule and then see where it would work out.
Yep.
And then, like, let's say you pick Saturday at 10 o'clock, every Saturday at 10 o'clock for X number of weeks.
Yep.
That would be your time. If you need to reschedule, we need a 40-hour window.
Okay.
Just because it's hard to move people around, especially when I'm at the park.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm there and I just have a dead hour
Yeah.
because somebody like canceled or whatever.
Yep.
Can get the spot filled.
So then that's another question too. Is it once a week? So like we'll do once a week, go do kind of our own thing after we meet again. Just okay.
Yeah. So if it was Saturday at 10, every Saturday at 10, I would see you. Okay.
Gotcha.
So I'll still be at Oz Park at some point. Depending on how long the program it is. It does either get too cold or they have a porta potty there.
Yep.
And at some point they take the porta potty away.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it easy for me to train there all day because I can just use the bathroom whenever. Is that I relocate over here.
Okay.
Now what clients have done in the past is like, let's say you did a 9 and we did like the first 7 classes or whatever, like the beginning of off leash and stuff. And you're like, I'm going to come back in the spring. Completely fine.
Okay.
We just ask that you tell Tina. And then if something comes up and you need to come during the winter, I would be here.
Gotcha.
So you're always welcome to have
Okay,
class.
so it's basically like you're signing up for 9 classes. Obviously, if you can get them in consecutively, great. If not, we can kind of get flexible with how we use them. Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, happens, people travel, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as we know, and then she can adjust my calendar, it's
Yep.
not a big deal.
Okay.
But if you cancel like the day of or something, like,
Yeah,
then it's
you're
gonna end
still
up being
getting
like
charged.
that.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so I put you at minimum 6, max probably 9, and then there'd be the collar, which Tina will send you all that information.
Yep.
Other than that, it's pretty much it.
Cool. I guess what is the price for the 6 versus the 9? Do you know off the
I
top?
think the 6 is like
I can look online, too.
$14.75.
Okay.
And I think 9 is like $2,025.
Okay.
And they're online, so
Yep.
I could be wrong with that. But my wife was talking to someone on the phone earlier, and I remember her saying those numbers.
Okay.
So that sounds right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. And then the cost of the collar, if you get through us, it's around $305-ish.
Yep.
And then if you get it online or whatever, it's like $350-ish.
Okay.
Tax. Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
I don't think so. Like I said, I'll take all this information, kind of go back and think
Yeah,
through.
for sure. And if you have any
Next
questions,
steps.
you feel free to ask. And then, you know, feel free to read over the contract, review
Yep.
the contract or whatever. Have any questions, just keep in mind that it is first come, first serve.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody like signed up for a time that you wanted, then like, you know, you have to wait for another spot or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
That's Snooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to bite people.
Okay.
So today's his first day. He's just being a brat because he's barking right now.
How many dogs are here right now?
Right now it's like 15.
Okay.
From the Labor Day
Yeah.
weekend, like a lot of them got picked up yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Cool,
But
man.
yeah, if there's anything you forgot to ask, feel free to email Tina.
Yeah.
And if they pertain to me, she'll email me and I'll send her the answer.
All right.
Otherwise, she can answer most questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Awesome, Luke. Pleasure meeting you.
I appreciate it.
I'll grab your mic.
Cool.
And yeah, if you remember who referred you,
Yeah, I'll
just let us know.